You're gonna play with dirt?
Yeah. He said I have to go in the car.
You just ran over my onions. I was thinking about my video title of the last one, and I thought, maybe somebody would think I was talking about libido, but actually borax and iodine both help with libido. I won't get into that. Anyway, I've got my seedlings here. One super bad thing, a couple things about this cart. So if you watched my previous videos, I said I'm gonna tell you if I like this structure or not. And I do like it. I really like it. It's not super heavyweight. It's really, you know, it's easy to move around. The wheels work great and everything. But when you have, I talked about rolling it outside. When you have the plastic covering on, even if you had locked the wheels, I'm sure that this thing would have just flown like a sail. And this, I actually moved. I moved it so that it was just right in front of the doorway over here. One of the doorways. I don't know what it's caught up on right now. But it's very easy to move. But I moved it so it was in front of our doorway so it could get a little bit more sun. It was a little windy that day. It sucked it out of the hole of the door. Like it was sitting in front of the door, but there was enough pressure from the wind to suck the whole thing out of the door, and I had a whole big plant mess to pick up. It was horrible. Now the sun is starting to get up, and it's really not shining in the windows too much, and I could move these outside, start to harden them off. But I really would love a greenhouse. But that is going to be later on in our life. Some people could be like, Elizabeth, you do know that manure pile is full of fungi, and fungi is everywhere. And they even actually use cow manure, horse manure to grow mushrooms in, because it's a great medium to grow mushrooms in. I know. But we're also out in the open, and it's not inside my house piled somewhere, so I'm good with it. Okay, check this out. So I had a few left over of my onion plants because I planted quite a bit of onions, and I just laid them down and I covered them up with about that much soil. And I wondered to myself if they would just go ahead and peek themselves up through the soil themselves instead of planting them upright. And they did. And I grew a bunch of chives in here, so chives should start to shoot up as well. Here I am scared that I'm always anxious, like, oh, is it gonna come up? But I see a little sprout here, and I don't know if that sprout is a poppy seedling or not, but I'm hoping that it is a poppy seedling. I see a little sprout right there, but we'll see. I do have other sprouts. Right here, I planted some yarrow. It's a good medicinal, but I don't see anything. Here's cilantro. So cilantro's starting to peek up. I'm gonna say, I feel sorry for those people who have bought cilantro at the stores, those little cilantro plants. I've heard one of my friends said, oh, I'm growing cilantro because I want to make salsa. And she's growing her cilantro at the same time she's planting her tomatoes. And I'm thinking in my head, no, that's not going to work for you. If you're going to have cilantro at the same time that you're going to plant if you want salsa, you have to grow your cilantro, start a month before August. August is usually the time where we have some tomato production. So if you want to start just a month before that, then you can have some for that. Now, I use cilantro in lots of dishes. I love Chinese Thai food. I love Taiwanese food. I love Mexican food. We eat a lot of cilantro. So we will just continue to grow more and more cilantro every couple weeks so that we can have a plethora of cilantro whenever we want it, because it will germinate fine in it likes a little bit warmer temperature to germinate, but it can endure really cold temperatures. Like that cilantro is very cold hardy. Not negative, sorry. It was like 17 degrees the low one day, and this cilantro in the ground was still really doing well. And I was like, wow. Cucumbers, dead, cilantro, happy. You just think of it as more of a hot weather thing, but it will seed and germinate and do a really good job, even pushing through mulch. I've planted cilantro in like thick mulch underneath, and it just wants to drive up to the light. So just saying, it's a great detoxifying herb. Okay, I feel like I could bunny trail all day long. When it gets really, really, really cold, it doesn't grow as fast, but it was surviving at that colder temperature. And it won't germinate at 20 degrees, but it will germinate in that warmer temperature and then be there and growing more slowly as the cold is happening. So, and then you can harvest it, and it won't grow very fast or much at all at that temperature, but it will be there. So it's amazing. And I think this is still cilantro. This is cilantro, spinach, radish. So those are starting to peak up. And I have these guys, and I know that purpling can be a phosphorus deficiency, but I wonder how they're gonna pull through. Because I put magnesium and I put potash, and it might be because the manure is too hot for them or something. So onion sets are actually, they don't store as well as onion plants. So that's something to keep in mind when you're selecting your onions that you're gonna grow. In Iowa, the longer day variety, which means that the bulbs starts to bulb up. When they get bigger, the bulbs just kind of do I gotta put all my energy into the bulb when the day is like 14 hours long. And then the other shorter day variety is more like 12. So the more green on top that you have on your onion plants, the more capability of it to shove its nutrients down into its bulbing. We will see what happens. So the different varieties that I grew, and I will just throw up on the screen here, possibly choose I grew the Texas, a Texas intermediate day variety, which I assume that is in kind of that in between those two, short and long day. And I grew the red wing. So let me restart this. Okay, I'm gonna throw up on the screen here. In my beds, I grew the red wing onion, and in each bed, I actually did a little bit different planting strategy. For the first bed, I put manure down, the horse manure down, and I just sat on top of that some of the black topsoil. And then I planted directly into that. The next one, I broke up the land a bit, put black topsoil, intermingled it in that spot, and I just surrounded it with the horse manure as an edge. Next bag, I took some ash, some charcoal ash, charred clay, kind of pottery basically. Mixed that with some of the earth that was there and some black topsoil. And I kind of intermixed that together with also some horse manure. And the next bed, I put pine needles on bottom, and then I put a layer about that thick of the black topsoil. And I just planted directly into that, and that was the Texas sweet variety. And then I put pine needle shavings on top. These next beds, I just broke up the soil and put horse manure in it. Horse manure in the cracks and crevices. And I just shoved the onion plants down in them at various spots. And that one was both the candy sweets and also the ring master. I believe that both of those are long day varieties. So we will see how that goes. Gentle. Gentle.
What are you doing? You're making it worse. He's covered. Oh, yuck.
Darian, you can kill somebody if you start a forest fire or a field fire. So you need to go put it out.
How?
Why did you do that? It isn't even muddy outside.